You're here because something is wrong. Terribly wrong. You can feel it in your bones, can't you? You can feel it in the dead of night when you're staring at the ceiling, replaying that one trade, that one mistake, that one moment of hesitation or impulsiveness that cost you. You can feel it in the pit of your stomach when you look at your P&L, that brutal, unforgiving number that seems to mock your effort, your intelligence, your dedication. You came into this world, the world of trading, with a vision, a glorious, crystal-clear vision. It was a vision of freedom, wasn't it? Freedom from the 9-to-5 grind, freedom from a boss, freedom from financial worry. You saw the charts not as chaotic squiggles, but as a roadmap to a new life. You imagined the thrill of the win, the crisp satisfaction of a well-executed plan, the quiet confidence of a master in their domain. You saw the lifestyle, the ability to travel, to provide, to live life on your own terms. And yet, the reality is so different. It's a gut-wrenching roller coaster. The wins are euphoric, yes, but they feel fragile, fleeting. They're followed so quickly by the crushing weight of a loss that seems to erase all progress. You find yourself glued to the screen, heart pounding, pupils dilated, riding every single tick up and down. A green candle brings a surge of adrenaline and hope. A red one, a cold wave of dread. You've tasted success, just enough to know it's possible. But consistency? That feels like a mirage in the desert, always shimmering on the horizon, but never getting any closer. You've consumed everything you can. You've read the books, watched the videos, studied the strategies. You know about support and resistance, moving averages, Fibonacci levels, market structure. You can talk the talk. But when the money is real, when the pressure is on, something breaks. The plan evaporates. The discipline crumbles. It's just you, the flickering screen, and that overwhelming cocktail of fear and greed. So you're here, seeking the missing piece, the secret indicator, the foolproof strategy, the one thing that will finally make it all click. And I'm here to tell you something you might not want to hear, something that might even make you angry at first. The secret you're looking for doesn't exist, but the solution does. The reason you're struggling, the reason the vision and the reality are so painfully disconnected is because your entire premise is flawed. You've been chasing the wrong thing. Your definition of success in trading is a lie. It's a beautifully marketed, seductive lie that keeps 90% of traders trapped in a cycle of boom and bust. Today, right now, we're going to shatter that lie. We're going to tear it down to its foundations and build a new one, a real one, a durable one. We're going to redefine what it means to win, what it means to be a successful trader. It has almost nothing to do with the money and everything to do with the mind. This isn't a journey about finding a better strategy. This is a journey about forging a better you. Chapter 1. The Siren Song of the Bottom Line. Let's be brutally honest with each other. Why did you start trading? If you dig deep, past the intellectual curiosity, past the fascination with the markets, the raw, unfiltered answer for almost everyone is the money. The outcome, the bottom line. You saw the potential for immense wealth, and it called to you. A siren song promising a life of ease and abundance. And there is nothing inherently wrong with that desire. It's human. But in the world of trading, this singular focus on the P&L is the single most destructive force you will ever face. It is the poison that ruins the most promising traders. You believe that your happiness, your sense of accomplishment, your self-worth as a trader is directly tied to the number in your account. When it goes up, you're a genius, a market wizard. You feel validated, intelligent, powerful. You might even get a little cocky, right? You start thinking you've figured it out. When it goes down, you're a failure, an idiot. You feel worthless, foolish, and filled with self-doubt. Every single tick becomes a referendum on your intelligence and your worth. This is an insane way to live and an impossible way to trade. Why? Because you have made your emotional state entirely dependent on something you cannot and will never control, the short-term outcome of a random event. Yes, you heard me. A single trade within the context of a proven strategy is a random event. Your edge, your alpha, only manifests itself over a large series of trades. It's a statistical probability, not a certainty. The best poker player in the world can lose a hand to a complete novice. The house in a casino can lose a round of blackjack. Does the poker pro throw his strategy out the window? Does the casino owner panic and change the rules of the game? No, because they understand that their success is not defined by any single hand, any single spin of the wheel. It is defined by the unwavering application of a statistical edge over time. But you don't act like the casino owner. You act like the desperate gambler on his last dollar. When a trade goes against you, you feel that panic, that need to do something. You move your stop-loss just to give it more room to breathe. You add to a losing position, praying for a reversal. You close a winning trade far too early, terrified of giving back your profits. And when you have a losing day, what happens? You're consumed by revenge trading, jumping back into the market with a reckless, sloppy trade, desperate to make the money back right now. All of these actions, every single one, are driven by one thing, an obsessive emotional attachment to the immediate outcome. You are not trading your strategy, you are trading your P&L. You are making decisions based on the need to avoid the pain of loss or to chase the pleasure of a win, rather than on the objective criteria of your trading plan. Think about it this way. Imagine a surgeon whose self-worth was tied to every single patient surviving surgery. Of course, they want every patient to survive, but they know, statistically, that it's impossible. Some cases are too advanced, some complications are unforeseen. If that surgeon allowed the outcome of one failed surgery to destroy their confidence, to make them question their entire process, they would become hesitant, emotional, and a danger to their next patient. A successful surgeon focuses on the process. Did I perform every step of the procedure flawlessly? Did I follow the protocol? Did I do everything within my power correctly? If the answer is yes, then they can accept the outcome, learn from it, and move to the next operation with their confidence and discipline intact. This is the shift you must make. Your job is not to make money on any given trade. That is a byproduct, a result. Your job is to flawlessly execute your tested, proven trading plan. Your job is to be the perfect surgeon, the disciplined casino owner. Your focus must shift 100% away from the outcome and 100% onto your process. When you can take a loss, look at the trade and say, I followed my rules perfectly. The market just did what the market does, without an ounce of emotional turmoil. That is the first true sign of progress. That is the moment you begin to starve the beast of outcome dependency. Right now, the siren song of the bottom line is leading you onto the rocks. It's time to plug your ears, lash yourself to the mast of your process, and sail past it. Your survival and eventual success depends on it. Chapter 2. The Battlefield Within. So, we've established that focusing on the outcome is poison. It makes you emotional, erratic, and undisciplined. The logical next step, then, is simply to decide, okay, from now on, I will focus only on my process. Simple, right? Ah, if only it were that easy. The moment you make that noble resolution and place your next trade, you will discover a shocking truth. You are not in control. You will find yourself face to face with an enemy more cunning, more patient, and more destructive than any market crash or flash spike. That enemy is your own mind. The real work of trading is not about mastering the markets. It is about mastering yourself. The charts are not the territory. The battlefield is the 6 inches between your ears. Your brain, for all its marvels, is a primitive survival machine. It evolved over millennia to deal with saber-toothed tigers and tribal warfare, not with the abstract, probabilistic world of financial markets. The very tools that kept our ancestors alive are the ones that systematically destroy trading accounts. Let's meet the primary saboteurs. First, there's fear. Fear is not just a gentle apprehension. It's a cold, paralyzing dread that grips you. It's the fear of losing money, which the brain processes with the same intensity as a physical threat. It's the fear of being wrong, which attacks your ego and sense of self-worth. This fear makes you hesitate on a perfect setup, missing the entry. It makes you snatch tiny profits, choking a trade that could have been a massive winner because you're terrified of it turning against you. It makes you see threats where there are only probabilities, turning you into a timid, reactive trader who can never truly capitalize on their edge. Then comes fear's seductive twin, greed. Greed is that intoxicating whisper that says, "This is it, the big one. Don't just stick to your position size. Go all in. Mortgage the house." Greed makes you over-leverage. It makes you hold a winning trade long past your profit target, convinced it will go on forever, only to watch in horror as it reverses and wipes out all your gains and then some. Greed is the voice of more. It's never satisfied. It turns a sound trading plan into a lottery ticket. It's the root of every catastrophic blow-up story you've ever heard. It's the belief that you can force the market to give you what you want right now. And let's not forget their sneaky cousin, FOMO, the fear of missing out. You see a market rocketing upwards without you. You had no setup, no signal from your plan, but you watch that green candle grow, and an almost unbearable anxiety builds inside you. Everyone else is getting rich. I'm being left behind. So you jump in, chasing the price at the worst possible location right as the early birds are taking their profits. You buy the top just in time for the reversal. FOMO is a social media-fueled hysteria that preys on our deep-seated need to be part of the herd. In trading, the herd is almost always wrong, and following it leads you right off a cliff. Finally, there's the most insidious enemy of all, your ego. Your ego is the part of you that needs to be right. When a trade goes against you, your ego takes it as a personal insult. It can't accept that it was wrong. So instead of taking a small, disciplined loss as your plan dictates, your ego says, "No, I am right. The market is wrong. It will turn around." This is what makes you hold on to losing trades, turning a small paper cut into a mortal wound. It's your ego that engages in revenge trading because it can't stand the indignity of a loss. It needs to dominate the market to prove its superiority. And the market, in its infinite, impersonal wisdom, will always humble an oversized ego. It will take every last penny from the trader who needs to be right more than they need to be profitable. These forces, fear, greed, FOMO, ego, are not abstract concepts. They are visceral, chemical reactions in your brain. They are the true market manipulators. You can have the world's best strategy, a 90% win rate system, which doesn't exist, by the way, but if you cannot control these internal demons, you will fail, period. The work, then, is not to find a new indicator. The work is to begin the process of self-observation, to watch these feelings rise within you, to name them, and to consciously choose not to act on them. The goal is not to eliminate these emotions. You're human, not a robot. The goal is to decouple them from your decision-making process. The battlefield is within. Your training starts now. Chapter 3. Forging the Armor, the Sanctity of the System. If your mind is the battlefield and your emotions are the enemy's weapons, then you cannot go into battle unarmed. You will be slaughtered. You need armor. You need a fortress. You need a code of conduct that governs your every action, especially when you're under fire. In trading, this armor, this fortress, is your system. And I don't just mean your entry and exit signals. I mean your entire, holistic, non-negotiable process for engaging with the market. Success is found in the sanctity of this system. It is your shield against the chaos of the market and the turmoil of your own mind. What does this system actually look like? It's far more than just buy when the 9 EMA crosses the 20 EMA. A true, professional-grade trading system is a comprehensive business plan. Let's break down its essential components. First, you must have precisely defined rules for entry. Not vague guidelines, but black and white, yes or no criteria. The price must close above the 200-period moving average on the 1-hour chart. The RSI must be below 30. There must be a clear bullish divergence. Whatever your strategy is, it must be written down in such a way that you or anyone else could look at a chart and say with 100% certainty, yes, this meets the criteria, or no, it does not. There can be no room for interpretation. No, it feels right. If it's not in the rules, it's not a trade. Second, and just as important, you must have precisely defined rules for exit. This is where most traders crumble. You need to know, before you ever enter the trade, exactly where you will get out for both a loss and a win. Your stop loss is not a suggestion. It is the sacred contract you make with yourself to protect your capital. It is the predetermined point at which your trade idea is proven invalid. You place it, and you never, ever move it further away. Period. Likewise, you must have a clear take-profit strategy. Will you take profit at a specific risk-to-reward ratio, like 2R or 3R? Will you exit at a key level of structure? Will you use a trailing stop? This must be defined in advance. It prevents greed from making you hold on too long, and fear from making you sell too soon. Third, you must have unwavering rules for risk management and position sizing. This is the engine of longevity. You must decide, in the cold rational light of day, the absolute maximum percentage of your account you are willing to risk on any single trade. For most professionals, this number is between 0.5% and 2%. That's it. This single rule makes it mathematically impossible for 1 or 2 bad trades to wipe you out. It guarantees your survival. It transforms trading from a gambling exercise into a business of risk management. You use a position size calculator for every single trade to ensure that no matter where your stop loss is placed, the dollar amount you stand to lose is always within your predefined limit. This is non-negotiable. Fourth, your system must include a routine. What do you do before the market opens? This is your pre-flight checklist. You review the higher time frame trends, you mark your key levels, you check for major economic news, you get your mind right. What do you do after the market closes? This is your post-trade analysis. This is where the real learning happens. You must keep a detailed trading journal. In it, you record the date, the asset, the entry, the exit, the reason for the trade, a screenshot of the setup, and, most critically, your emotional state. How did you feel? Were you anxious, patient, greedy? At the end of the week, you review this journal. You look for patterns, not just patterns in the charts, but patterns in your behavior. I notice that most of my losing trades happen when I break my rules after 2 consecutive losses. This journal is your mirror. It shows you the truth of your trading, not the story you tell yourself. This system, this comprehensive plan, becomes your anchor. When the market is surging and FOMO is screaming in your ear, You look to your rules. Does this meet my entry criteria? No. So you do nothing. When a trade is going against you and fear is telling you to panic and close it, you look to your rules. Has it hit my predefined stop loss? No. So you do nothing. You trust the system. You are forging armor piece by piece. It will feel rigid and restrictive at first. It will feel like it's robbing you of your trader's intuition. But what you think is intuition is most often just emotion in disguise. The only way to transcend the emotional roller coaster is to subordinate yourself to the sanctity of your system. You are no longer the hero of the story. The system is the hero. Your only job is to follow it flawlessly. Chapter 4. The Monotony of Mastery. You have your system. It's written down, it's precise, it covers entries, exits, risk, and routine. You have faced the truth about your own mind and committed to letting the system be your shield. You are ready. And now you embark on the least glamorous, least exciting, and most vital phase of your entire trading journey, the pursuit of mind-numbing, soul-crushingly boring consistency. This is the part they never show you in the movies. There are no montages of thrilling victories here. This is the reality of professional trading, the great unmarketable truth. Mastery is monotonous. Success is boring. Your new job description has one line: execute the plan. That's it. Day after day, week after week. You show up, you do your pre-market analysis, you wait for a setup that matches your criteria. If one appears, you calculate your position size, place your entry order, your stop loss, and your take profit. And then you walk away. Or you set an alert and minimize the window. You do not stare at the P&L. You do not watch every tick, your heart beating in time with the candle's flicker. You have done your job. The rest is up to the market. You have placed your bet in the casino, and now you let the wheels spin. Some days you will sit at your desk for hours, and no setups will appear. Zero. Your plan's criteria will not be met. The old you, the gambler, would have gotten antsy, bored. You would have forced to trade, a B-grade setup, just for the action. The new you, the professional, does nothing. You accept that your job is to wait for high-probability conditions, and if they don't arise, you don't get paid that day. Just like a lion doesn't chase every mouse it sees, you conserve your capital and your mental energy for the true opportunities. A day of no trades but perfect discipline is a successful day. It is a win. Other days you will execute your plan perfectly and lose. You will take 3 trades, all meeting your criteria to the letter. All 3 of them will hit your stop loss. Your account will be down for the day. The old you would have been devastated, angry, frustrated. You would have questioned everything. This system is broken. It doesn't work. You would have immediately started searching for a new, better strategy. The new you will calmly log the 3 trades in your journal. You will note that you followed your rules perfectly. You will accept the loss as a simple business expense, the statistical cost of playing the game. And you will shut down your computer and walk away with your mental capital fully intact, ready for tomorrow. A day of no trades but perfect discipline is a successful day. It is a win. This is the grind. It's logging trades, reviewing journals, showing up, waiting, executing without emotion, losing without despair, winning without euphoria. It is the furthest thing from the adrenaline-fueled gambling that first attracted you. You will begin to see that trading success isn't about brilliant, heroic calls. It's about the relentless, monotonous application of your edge. It's about building a track record, one boring trade at a time. It's about building trust, not trust in the market, but trust in yourself. Trust that you will follow your rules no matter what. Trust that you will honor your stop loss. Trust that you will manage your risk. This trust is built on a mountain of evidence that you collect in your journal. After 100 trades, 200 trades, you will have hard data. You will see that your edge, while not working on every single trade, is playing out over the long run. The numbers will prove it. This data-driven confidence is 1,000 times more powerful than the fleeting euphoria of a lucky win. But getting there requires you to embrace the boredom. It requires you to find satisfaction not in the outcome, but in the perfection of your execution. You must learn to love the process, to find deep, quiet satisfaction in a day where you followed every single rule, regardless of the P&L. This is the monotonous path to mastery. Most people can't handle it. They crave the excitement. They need the drama. They mistake motion for progress. True success is found in the stillness, in the patience, in the unwavering discipline to do the right thing over and over and over again until it becomes as natural as breathing. Chapter 5. The Redefinition of Victory. We have journeyed far. We started by dismantling the lie of the bottom line. We confronted the inner demons of fear and greed. We forged the armor of a robust system and embraced the monotonous grind of consistency. Now, we arrive at the final, most profound transformation. We arrive at the redefinition of victory itself. If a winning trade doesn't necessarily make you a winner, and a losing trade doesn't necessarily make you a loser, then what truly does it mean to win? What is the new scoreboard you should be looking at? Here is the ultimate paradigm shift. You win the moment you execute your plan flawlessly, regardless of the outcome. You lose the moment you break your rules, regardless of the outcome. Let that sink in. This is the core principle that separates the professional from the amateur, the 10% from the 90%. Imagine this scenario. Your plan calls for you to go long when the price pulls back to the 50-day moving average. You see the price falling towards it. It touches the line perfectly. Your entry signal is triggered, but you hesitate. Fear whispers in your ear. What if it keeps falling? It looks so weak. You freeze, and you don't take the trade. A few moments later, the price rockets upward from that exact spot for a massive 5R win, the exact move your system was designed to catch. How do you feel? The amateur feels regret and FOMO. But you, the professional in training, you must look at this and record it as a loss, not a monetary loss, but a loss of discipline. You failed to execute. You let emotion override your system. This was a failure, a losing day, even though you didn't lose a single cent. You lost an opportunity to reinforce good habits and trust in your system. Now, imagine the opposite scenario. Your rules are met. You enter the trade. You place your stop loss exactly where it's supposed to be, risking 1% of your capital. You set your take profit target. 10 minutes later, the market reverses violently and hits your stop loss. You lose 1% of your account. How do you feel? The amateur is angry, dejected. They feel like a failure. But you? You must look at this trade and record it with deep satisfaction as a perfect win. Why? Because you followed your plan to the letter. You identified a valid setup. You executed it without hesitation. You managed your risk perfectly. You accepted a small, defined loss when your idea was proven wrong. You did the job of a professional trader. You reinforced discipline. You strengthened the habit of correct execution. This was a victory for your process, and therefore a victory for your long-term career. Your new goal is not a certain dollar amount per day. Your new goal is a 100% execution score. At the end of the day, you ask yourself one question. Did I follow my plan on every single decision I made today? If the answer is yes, you won. You are a successful trader for that day, even if your account is down. If the answer is no, you lost. You failed, even if you got lucky and made money. A win that comes from breaking your rules, e.g., holding a loser that turns around and becomes a winner, is the most dangerous thing that can happen to you. It reinforces bad habits. It teaches you that indiscipline is rewarded. It paves the road to your eventual ruin. This redefinition of victory is the ultimate liberation. It takes your self-worth and your emotional state completely out of the hands of the unpredictable market and places it squarely back into your own. You are no longer a victim of price action. You are the master of your own actions. Success is no longer a fluctuating number on a screen. It is a constant, a standard of excellence that you hold yourself to. It is measured in discipline, patience, and integrity. The money? The account growth? That becomes a byproduct. It becomes the inevitable result of your unwavering commitment to professional execution. It will come, not because you're chasing it, but because you're focused on the one thing you can actually control, yourself. You stop trying to be a market predictor, and you start striving to be a master of execution. This is the final key. This is the truth of what trading success really is. It's not about what you get from the market. It's about who you have to become to get it. Conclusion. So here we are, at the end of our conversation, and perhaps at the beginning of your true journey as a trader. Look back at the person who started reading this, the person feeling frustrated, lost, chasing that elusive dream of quick, easy success, the person whose emotions were yoked to the chaotic dance of their P&L. Is that still you? I hope not. I hope a shift has begun. The core illusion has been shattered. The idea that success is a dollar amount, a flashy win, or a life without losses. That is a child's fantasy of trading. We have replaced it with an adult's reality, a professional's creed. Success, real success, is the quiet pride of perfect discipline. It's looking at a day of small controlled losses and knowing with unshakable certainty that you won because you followed your every rule. It's skipping a trade that rockets to the moon and feeling nothing but peace because it never met your strict criteria for entry. Success is the strength to be boring, to embrace the monotonous execution of a tested plan day in and day out. It is the deep internal trust you build in yourself, a trust forged in the fires of 100 disciplined decisions. It is transforming trading from a gambling addiction into a high-performance mental craft. The path forward will not be easy. Your old habits, the seductive whispers of fear and greed, will not die quietly. They will fight back. There will be days you slip up, days you break a rule and feel that immediate bitter sting of self-betrayal. This is part of the process. The goal is not instant perfection, but relentless progress. When you fall, you will not spiral into despair. You will open your journal, analyze the failure with brutal honesty, learn the lesson, and recommit to your process for the next trade, the next session. You are no longer at the mercy of the market. You are a scientist, an engineer of your own behavior. Your trading account is not a measure of your worth. It is simply a data set reflecting the quality of your execution. Stop searching for the holy grail outside of yourself, the perfect indicator, the secret strategy. They are all distractions. The real work is inside. It's about building an unbreakable mental framework. It's about becoming the kind of person who is worthy of consistent profits, disciplined, patient, objective, and resilient. The market rewards these traits, and it ruthlessly punishes their opposites. You now have the blueprint. You know that success isn't about conquering the market. It's about conquering yourself. It isn't what you thought it was. It's something harder, something deeper, and ultimately something far more meaningful and achievable. It is the reward for becoming the master of your own domain. Now, go and begin the real work.